Wow, y'all. Hey, family. I'm just so overjoyed and excited to see all of y'all here. I am Dr. Rela Violet Botts Ward. I go by Ree for short. I am honored to be a postdoctoral fellow at the University of California, San Francisco. Thank you. And for those of you all who are not familiar with the postdoc fellow, it just means I get paid to do my thing by the university. And I work in the reparations and anti-institutional racism project. Shout out to Bri, who is also a part of our project as well. So it's Repair for short. And Repair is a radical collective within UCSF that's really thinking about how we can reimagine what healthcare and healing can look and feel like for our communities when traditional medical systems have failed us, especially us as Black women. So that's a lot of the work that I'm doing within my postdoctoral fellowship, and I'm so excited to welcome you all to the Museum of the African Diaspora, and excited to welcome you all to this gathering, which is a collaboration between a number of partners and sponsors, including UCSF Repair. So you all are witnessing a pop-up exhibition installation of the Black Girl Quarantine exhibit. Black Girl Quarantine was a virtual exhibition that Black Women Healing curated in 2021. So many of my homegirls were struggling with grief and loss, and we're also creating some really dope art, right? Because we ain't have a whole lot else to do. So I thought about this opportunity to curate an exhibition that would invite Black women across the country to respond to two questions. How did you honor life, your life, and the lives that we lost? And also, what did you create to honor those lives? So this exhibition wowed me. I did not expect to receive so many submissions, but we have over 100 artworks for and by Black women that are housed at Black Girl Quarantine Online. Thank you. So what you see scrolling through is how to experience the virtual exhibition. Feel free to visit blackwomenhealing.com/blackgirlquarantine to experience the exhibit on your own. And our 2023 exhibition series is a series of in-person installations of our virtual exhibit. Because of COVID, we had to curate the whole exhibit and our exhibit week online. So this is a huge celebration, y'all, of all the Black women who submitted their art back in 2021. We even have some new featured artists. Shout out to my soror Janae in the front. We see you. This is her piece, her beautiful piece over here at our merchandise table. And the idea of this gathering today is to think about how Black women are using art to do our healing. Particularly for today, we're thinking about sonic healing arts. I'm so honored to be joined by some of my favorite musical artists. These women really got me through quarantine, whether it was through the relationships or literally the music that they were creating that I played on repeat to keep my sanity in quarantine. And so it's such a beautiful gift and honor to be able to invite you all to experience some of the healing that I got to experience through quarantine. And to give you all a little more context, I am a professor of Black feminist healing arts at UCSF. And that course is a community course which invites community folks and university folks to learn alongside each other. Wow. So this event is one of my classes. Shout out to any of my students who are in the building. Hey, so yes, we meet weekly. And this is our very first in-person class. Wow. And this is also a part of our Black Women Healing Reunion exhibition series, which is a 4-part event series inviting folks into Black Girl Quarantine. So it's really exciting how this exhibition is actually deeply connected to and in alignment with the course itself. I also want to plug, I'm sure that our folks at the welcome table did already, But this event is like a mini pop-up, y'all. This is just a little teaser. But we really gonna give y'all the full experience of the full exhibition on June the 2nd at Agency Oakland, 5 to 10. So if you have not already, make sure you click that QR code and register for our opening night. It's going to be at Agency Oakland in a large space, and it's just going to be for us, by us, unapologetic, all the vibes, all the healing. So please come through. We're going to have vendors, free food. Shout out to Oaklandia. Oaklandia will be there again. And it's going to be live. So I hope y'all come through for that. And for all the Black women in the room, on June the 3rd, we have a Black women only day at the exhibition. That's a day-long healing retreat. Brittany's gonna be, y'all gonna get blessed by my sis Britt, but she gonna be back for our healing retreat, giving us some sound baths. We're gonna have Aima and Ramona blessing us with prayer and libations. And we're going to end with a little twerk church. If y'all are familiar with Bobby and Breezy, they do some really dope work around twerk as a healing art for Black women to connect with our ancestral energies and goodness. So make sure that you visit the QR code for more information about how to register for the rest of our series. I also got to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, shout out to Moab. Can we just give a huge round of applause for Moab? Y'all, they have allowed us to do this gathering for free in this space and have also served as a sponsor for this. So yeah, can we give another round of applause? As well as Kaiser Permanente. So today is a free day. So the whole museum is free for community to come, and it's all around mental health and how being in art spaces is good for our holistic well-being. And so we're honored to partner with them on this today. I also want to shout out the Oakland Fund, UCSF Repair, San Francisco Foundation, UCSF Office of Diversity and Outreach, the Berkeley Center for Social Medicine, the UCSF Alumni Association, California Black Women's Health Project, UCSF Person-Centered Reproductive Health Program, and the MOAD again, and Oaklandia, and UCSF Black Women's Health and Livelihood Initiative, y'all. These are all the people who donated to this exhibition series, and we're so honored and grateful to have their support. I also have to give a special plug because I work with the California Black Women's Health Project, which is a dope collective of Black women doing holistic healing work. And I'm excited to announce, y'all ready, drum roll? I'm going to be leading their Summer Sister Circle. Thank you, Desmond. Come on. So I will be leading their Summer Sister Circle, and so we just encourage folks to be on the lookout. We're going to be sharing information about that soon. But if you're interested in getting trained on how to support Black women with holistic wellness, I'll be leading that training this summer. It's free. It's a dope program. All the Black women in the room, I hope y'all sign up and send it to a homegirl. And finally, we are excited again to be a part of the Community Free Day, Thrive at MOAD, and free access and today's programming is made possible in part by generous support from Kaiser Permanente. Please take note of the QR code on your seat. So we got 2 QR codes, y'all. We got our series QR code, and then MOAD has their QR code. So please fill out both of those surveys. And it's short, they're both short, and we would love to get your feedback for MOAD as well as have y'all connected with us for our series. So make sure that you fill those out before you head out. And another note on our QR code is kind of your guide to this whole experience. So you'll have information about all of the artists on that QR code when you click in the exhibition guide. It'll also give you the opportunity to sign in for this event if you haven't gotten to already. And it will allow you to register for our series. All right, y'all. So can we give another round of applause and welcome? And shout out to all the folks in the back. If y'all want to come on in, make yourself comfortable. We have some open seats right here that y'all can go ahead and fill into. And we are so, so honored to have y'all here, community. So I am thrilled and honored to to introduce you all to Ramona Webb, who is a wonderful sacred healing artist and also a dear beloved mentor of mine and an artist in residence at the UCSF Black Wellness Center, as well as the Black Women's Health and Livelihood Initiative and the National Center of Excellence with Women's Health. All right, y'all. So Ramona is going to guide us in some grounding, libations, and prayer, and then we will dive into our panel with the artists. Can we give Ramona a round of applause?
It's my pleasure to be here and be present and in alignment with the highest good of everyone who's present. I'm going to start with a land acknowledgement as written by Kim Folks and myself. I am Ramona Laughing Brook Webb. I am Afro Creek Muskogee. And as individuals seeking social justice, we recognize the importance of committing to the everyday work of deepening our understanding to the history and the actions that have led each of us to exist on this land, North America. So we begin this powerful work with a land acknowledgement. Yes. We intentionally recognize and respect Indigenous people as the traditional stewards of this land, and honor the enduring relationship that exists between Indigenous people and traditional Indigenous territories. We acknowledge the Ohlone people and all Indigenous peoples whose traditional and unceded territories we are gathered upon today. We acknowledge the overlapping histories of this region, including the continuing conditions of stolen Indigenous land and power, in addition to the ongoing violence produced by the legacy of racialized slavery and oppression. We also recognize that the institutions and industrial complexes with which we struggle within have been complicit in the erasure of history and continue to benefit from the perpetual process of colonization, broken treaties, racism, colorism, bi, homo, transphobia, misogyny, dispossession, and displacement. Let us take a moment to extend our deepest thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to our shared ancestors, present elders, and emerging elders. Then let us reflect in silence and be mindful of conducting our work using words, actions, and intentions that demonstrate the honor and appreciation we extend to the Ohlone people and all Indigenous peoples whose lands we sit and stand upon. And in honor of the traditional stewards of this land, let us take a collective deep breath in silence together. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. Thank you so much for that, for holding space. Now we're going to move into our libations, and I'm going to put this microphone down.
Yes. Ashe, thank you.
Ashe. So, pouring of libations is a West African tradition, and so we are going to first plant ourselves and center ourselves, finding ourselves feeling grounded in our seats, feeling our core connected to the earth that lies beneath us, to the water that surrounds us, and to the goodness that is in this room. As we take a deep collective breath together, 1, 2, 3, deep breath in, hold, and let go. And deep breath in, hold, release. Deep breath in, hold, let go. As we find ourselves grounded in the moment, breathing in the blessing of this water, holding the sacred truths that we walk in with, the legacies that we hold, the ancestry that we move with, we are centered in this water, affirming our community, our sacred space, and this movement, this glorious representation of our goodness and gratitude manifested as artwork, as participation, as presence. And we honor those who have gone before us, those who are here, and the manifestations on the way. As we affirm our community in sacred space, this movement, we affirm the transformation and change that is on its way to this world through this community. And so as we call in response, I need you to agree by saying Ashe. 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 Okay, 1, 2, 3, Ashe. Ashe. Ashe, there you go. And what Ashe means is so it is. Yes, I affirm. Let's make it happen. That is Ashe. And so, as we affirm and honor the crossroads between the ancestors that have gone before us and the ancestors that are on their way, for the parents, mentors, friends, community members, and all those we honor, we say Ashe. Ashe. pour a little bit of this libation water with this good prayer and sacred energy into this plant in honor of this prayer, in honor of this sacred truth. As we affirm and honor the crossroads between the ancestors, we pour sacred water for our legacy makers and the spirit of our movement. Ashe. Ashe. Now is the time where we can call out names of ancestors you want to honor aloud until the names go silent. So I will call forward Lewis Howard Latimer, Corinne Schuster Perryman, Wallace Hall Webb, and you may call aloud the ancestors you walk with. You may call in silence the ancestors you walk with. That's right, keep them coming.
Helen Ann Butler. Anita. Thank you, God.
Helen Webb.
Thank you.
Jamil Butler, El Haj Malik Al-Shabazz.
Come on.
Breonna Taylor.
Come on. Yes, God. Eddie Gill, Malunga Casca, Lord.
And let us collectively say in honor of these ancestors, in honor of these visions, in honor of these movements, in honor of these praise and this sacred name, Ashe.
Ashe.
So now we're going to pour some sacred water for those that are on our way, our babies on the way, the visions and the manifestations of good in the world and beyond, all of the dreams that have not yet unfolded, and all of the manifestations we are here to bear witness to, give birth to, and find our way to our highest good. Yes. May we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And let us leave a little bit of water to continue the blessing of the space and prepare the way for the next ceremony. I give thanks and praise for your presence, for your being, for your ancestry, for your legacy, for your goodness, for your work, for your manifestation, for your visions, for your artistry, for your care, for your compassion, for your forgiveness, for your love, for your vision, for your presence. And for this I say Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you, God. Ashe, Amin, and Amen. It's been my pleasure to be of service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mona, for that beautiful grounding experience. And I just want to introduce you all to this beloved ancestor who is sitting next to me, Janine Irvin. She graduated from UC Berkeley in African American Studies, and she was doing a master's at Columbia in African American Studies, and she was studying Black art. And she passed just 2 weeks before submitting her thesis. And so when I was putting this together, this was my very first collage piece. And I wanted someone else to make it because I didn't know how to do collage art, but I couldn't figure out who could make it in time. So I had to figure out how to make this collage for her. And I didn't know her well at all. We met her one time, but she was friends with friends of mine. And I experienced clairaudience where ancestors will talk to me, and she actually guided me in making this collage. Like, she was like, girl, don't cut my hair off now, because I was about to cut her bun off, and she was like, you gotta put my whole bun. So when I was putting this together, she was like, made it very clear, like she wanted to be here front and center at Moab because this was her work. She was the first Mellon Art Fellow at Columbia. Like, she was doing amazing museum work. And so I'm just so honored to be able to introduce you all to Janine Irvin. We have some more information about her when you click that QR code. And I encourage y'all to just learn more about her and her brilliance as we continue to honor and carry forth the legacy that she curated. So thank you, Janine, and Thank you for being right here with me, girl, because you know I'm a little anxious, so thank you for grounding me. Whew, Ashe. And thank you again, Mona, for that beautiful libations. It is my honor to now welcome our amazing, dynamic panelists to come join me here. So Brittany, Lauren, Felicia, and the baby. If we can give a round of applause for our panelists. Felicia Gangloff Bailey is an angel mother, author, and co-founder of Soul Affirmations, and she is selling her book over here to my left, so please come tap in with my sis. Destiny Muhammad, who we have been so blessed by, is an award-winning recording and performing artist, band leader, composer, and producer. Brittany Tanner, hey sis, is a musical artist, mother, and founder of the song Remedy. Y'all can scoot down one, and Destiny gonna post it. And so Lauren Adams, to my right, is an Emmy award-winning artist, singer, songwriter, and producer from San Francisco. Hey. So I'm so honored to introduce y'all to my homegirls, my friends, my mentors, and this is especially a special occasion because Lala is born and raised right in Frisco, also known as Soul Frisco back in the day. And so to have a Black woman artist, healing artist, you know, be in this museum space, it's really special. Come on, she be knowing, her spirit be knowing. So this panel is really about honoring our healing process and our healing practice. This exhibition, Black Girl Quarantine, was not only about visual art, it wasn't only about literary art, it was about sonic healing arts as well. When you go to the exhibition and click that sound on button, you're gonna hear Brittany's music, you're gonna hear Lauren's music, you're also gonna hear music from Braxton Blue, who is another beloved ancestor who transitioned, who is a dynamic rapper and artist, so you'll see her art as well, and you'll also hear her art. And so it's been really important for me as I'm thinking about radical Black feminist healing arts to center sound. Because a lot of times when we talk about art, the first thing we think about is visual art. And so I'm so honored that this pop-up exhibition and artist talk is really focused on sound and how we use sound to engage in our healing. And every single one of y'all, I don't say this lightly, and I don't know if I told y'all enough, but y'all really did get me through quarantine. Like Brittany's song, it's a soul development song, but Brittany's vocals on that song, I Don't Want to Be Alone, like when I was in quarantine and I was in a bathtub, I just played that song over and over and over again, and I cried, and it held me. And Destiny's, what is the one song about the forest? Sacred Forest or something. It take me to the woods, y'all. and I played that song also during my bath time rituals. And one day I was playing that song and it like propelled me into connecting with ancestors in ways I never had before. And as soul development, right, the work and the music that soul development has put together, like y'all's whole album was on repeat for me. And so I say this not lightly, that y'all really did get me through the pandemic, and it's a blessing to just introduce the folks to y'all and the work that y'all do. So I want to just start, if y'all could introduce yourself a little bit more, tell us who you are, tell us a little bit more about your sonic healing arts practice, and also a little about your inner Black girl and how you imagine yourself as a little girl engage in music. Like when you were a little Black girl, did you have dreams of doing the musical healing work that you're doing now? And how are you honoring that part of you, you know, as you're doing this work? So I'll start to my right and let baby Lala start.
You need to let me speak a bit.
That's another, we'll do that another time. You know, well, first and foremost, I go by So Lauren. It just means that I'm committed to being my authentic self in every space, in every era of my life, in hopes and with the invitation that it invites other people to do the same, to show up as their authentic selves. And so that's who So Lauren is. For a long time, I was So Frisco, as you named. People, if you knew me back then, it was, oh, that's So Frisco. And if you had my handle or my email, it was So Frisco 84. So, but back then, identity was so rooted in where I'm from. And I realized that my identity needed to be rooted in just who I am. More than anything, and everything else is just icing on the cake. So, but that is who So Lauren is. But it is also me as an artist, giving you everything that's me. If you hear a record, if you're like, wow, those harmonies, that was a lot of harmony there, that's because I wanted you to feel that. Everything that I do musically has intention. I'm a songwriter by nature and via poetry first, but for me, even my writing is intentional, so therefore sonically, there's some intention that has to go behind the lyrics that I'm writing. And so that's sort of in a nutshell who I am and what I do. In terms of using my music to heal, as a little girl, I knew I was gonna do music, and I knew it was gonna be on a very high level. I don't think at the time I understood the level of healing that would happen. Like I always had the understanding that music is healing, that music was medicine. That's something that my family instilled in me very young, like, hey, you have a gift, so you can't just like play around with this, but you really need to understand that this gift is to be used for a particular purpose and with intentions that lead to your own healing and someone else's. So I always had that in the back of my mind. Like you never heard me writing things that were harmful or writing things that made anybody feel less than, be that in language, be that in the frequencies in which I use, the instruments, the vibrations in which I use. Yeah, I've always wanted to use everything that I am, everything that I hear, and place it in a space that actually doesn't fit. There is no lane for what I do. They don't promote and push what I do. So I always knew that was going to be a challenge as a little girl. Like, I know I have this gift. I know I have something to share and to offer to the world of music and arts, but I don't, the way that the industry is set up and society is set up doesn't say that a queer Black girl from San Francisco singing Black music will be able to heal anybody, let alone be heard, right? So I had it in my mind, but I think I just kept that. Baby Lala was like, this is the dream though, you know, we dreamed about sharing this gift. And so I think as time moved on and progressing in my craft, and then of course linking with soul development, my pen had to change because we're in a time where words are more important than ever and vibrations are more important than ever. And it wasn't until I got with soul development that I go from writing poetry and love songs. I'm a Cancer, so love songs, that's my thing. Writing love songs, but now my love songs now it's love for my people. Now it's love for my entire community, right? Love for humanity, love for justice, you know, the things that are a part of my core values as a human being, things that I want to see in the world. And now it gave my music, now it's not just R&B music that sounds great and feels good, but now it is like backed by this power that is ever so spiritual, that has more reach now to touch people in the ways that Baby Lala always wanted to, you know. So I think I answered everything, but yeah, that's it, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great question.
Hi, my name is Brittany Tanner. Hey y'all. So for me, I always knew I wanted to be a singer. It's my earliest memory. And so I started off singing in church, and you know, coming up doing that. And you know, I wanted to be like in the industry. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be an artist. But I always had this kind of like knowing in the back of my head that I was going to change the world, right? I had this grand like dream, like I'm going to change the world, but I had no idea how. And throughout my life, I went through a lot of different things, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. And similar to Lauren, I was, you know, introduced to Kariga and Felicia and soul development. But my journey to healing had kind of began. I moved to DC to record an album, my debut album, Journey to Be You. And so the producer that I was working with, Taurus Mateen, he allowed me to come and live with him to complete the album. So I'm from Bakersfield, California. Bakersfield, California is very racist, very dusty. I love it. A lot of amazing people and a lot of amazing artists have come from there. It has.
It's that dusty that got
dusty.
me.
It's dusty. But it has bred a lot of amazing artists that I'm proud to just even know. So moving to DC was like major culture shock. And I had to realize like how much self-hate I had, mainly for my hair. And so I went through so many processes of like, my mom's a hairstylist and I became a hairstylist as well, but I only do Lauren's hair now. But so I realized like how black I wasn't. Like I had all these different ideologies that really didn't align with my spirit, and DC really kind of helped me come into the knowledge like, no, like I'm beautiful, I'm black, I'm amazing, and it was just all this. And I was in like so many amazing spaces. Taurus Mateen is a world-renowned bassist, so he's playing in the Kennedy Center and like all these esteemed like jazz venues and like amazing. So I just got to see, like, I was wowed, and this was like all like black stuff. It was absolutely beautiful. So then we go into me meeting soul development. And then I'm like, oh snaps, I got Cali folk on the East Coast. And so it was just like instant family. And I'm just giving y'all all that backstory to say that I always knew that I wanted to change the world with my voice, but it wasn't until I was introduced to my community that helped my dream and my vision of how to use my voice. That's when it evolved. And then this is the last part of that story. So soul development, we're in Oakland. We come to Oakland to open up performing arts community school, Roses in Concrete, right? So we're doing that, we're activating in the community, and then we go to another level of activating the community with an organization called Be Imaginative, right? So we're in the Be Imaginative circles, and we're